So I was wondering about this, the narrative in the head, like commenting on or uh, sort of, judging everything or commenting or evaluating, sort of, and it's sort of linking the story. You talk about in the book, the dream of personality, create a dream and a story of you. Which I guess this voice, this narrative, this narration is doing in the background all the time, or that seems to be what's going on with me. It's sort of going on, commenting on, linking things, sort of things that were done yesterday, or things I have to do, or some people might be shoulds in it, all sorts of stuff, but it's like a constant voice running in the background, and oftentimes it's very subtle. You're not really aware of it, and other times I'm really aware of it. And so I was wondering, like, after the shift, does that stop, or is some of that the self functioning, or
Yeah, it's a good question. As you were talking, what came to mind was, you mentioned some of the things it may be saying, like something I've got to do tomorrow, or things like that. The fact that there's a voice in the head is, I don't think there's anything psychotic or fucked up about that. It's just like, oh, I've got to do the shopping, I've got to get that in by 10 because I've got the meeting at 11 or whatever. That seems to be how we're made. So I think the important thing is, it comes back to the energetic source. What I mean by this is if the voice is saying, I've got to go shopping at 10 o'clock, or is it saying, you're an idiot because you didn't do the shopping? Or is it saying, you're never going to do it on time, and it's adding stress like that? We know the kind of thing. So it's, what is the energetic source of that voice? Where is it coming from?
right?
One is an expression of suffering and tension, and coming from, you're not right, you're doing it wrong, self-abuse, whatever. And one is just the practical kind of running in the day-to-day relative world of your life. So I think as we often come to with these kind of things, is like, you're checking where it's coming from. And if you find there's a kind of bias to the voice, a nastiness and unkindness that comes with it to you, that's personality, and then that's something to look at and inquire into. And
yeah. So sometimes there is a should, or you better, or there is a sort of a tension in it, and sometimes it's not. It's just a practical thing. Yeah, I've got to do the shopping or cut the grass or whatever. So it varies. But the other, the question is another. Well, it's linking a story of you as well, isn't it? That like, if this is it, like whatever's appearing now is it, right? There's no story attached to that. It's just what's appearing. So something about linking the story of you, like, or of a me. Is there, like, if there isn't a me, if the I mean, there is an individual character here, yeah. So could you call that a me, or is the personality me different?
The danger that can come in with the absolutists is that, it's all just a story. So, and there's a sort of demeaning putting down of it in that, and also of the me. And it's like, obviously, I'm not doing that at all. Your story is your life unfolding. There's nothing wrong with the story, but a story can be informed by the personality, and then it becomes a story of unnecessary. There's the key word, unnecessary suffering. So here those things that are otherwise seen as negative, like me or self or story, are not inherently negative. They are life happening, and they're beautiful for that. Or not beautiful, but that's also it, right? So without that judgment on it, it's so, I suppose what I'm saying is that in the same way, you know, that a voice arises as part of that me in the relative that can have opinions and comment on things. So no, again, none of that is wrong or bad. It's only if it's this bias, this like you're already bad, and whatever's happening is using that to beat you up and say you're not good enough, then it's just an expression of the wound. So you can see the way I'm talking, it brings more kind of ease and kindness into it. Yeah, there's a voice in your head that says, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. What we're engaged in here is the difference between just the neutral voice that's the running of your life and the running of your story, or a biased voice that can create, you know, when I talk about the dream, it's not everyday life, it's life created by the personality and the suffering that comes with that. And it's such an important distinction. But